All right, there. We're going to go on up to the Minnesota, and we're going to play some football, okay? Is that all right there, buddy? All right, let's talk Lions football.
Elbow, forearm, he's going to be down.
The result of the play is a touchdown.
And the flag that was thrown on this was picked up.
I don't know, did it get the face mask?
Only do that if you're telling the official you're reporting.
The Lions hangover.
Welcome to the Lions Hangover Podcast. I am Brad. Please rate and subscribe to the show. Tell your friends about me. I really appreciate that. Also, I'm on all social medias. Not Threads, though. Not there yet. I don't think. Anyway, but I am on the Twitter. X. I'm on the X, Facebook, and Instagram. The Lions Hangover Podcast, or just the Lions Hangover. Did you guys like my semi-offensive Minnesota accent that bordered on a Chicago accent too? Fun story about that. I was talking with a gentleman one time, and he was in town from Minnesota for a Little Caesars convention, and I was like, "Oh, well, where are you from?" Like I was detecting like a Canadian accent, like that sort of thing. And he goes, "Oh, I'm from Minnesota." And I was like, "Oh, Minnesota?" And he goes, "Yeah, that's not what we really sound like, okay, bud?" Just like that. Anyway, that's enough of the accents for me. Did I say my name was Brad? Yeah, I probably did. If not, you know who I am. Lions go up to play the undefeated Minnesota Vikings this week. Week 7 football action in the NFL. The Lions are, of course, 4-1. Vikings 5-0. This is for the battle of first place. Did a little bit of research on this one. So we are not running late, but I was going to do this last night, but I was kind of tired. But it gave me a chance to do a little bit more research. Not that I wouldn't have done research anyway, but let's talk about this. The power rankings have the Minnesota Vikings listed. The NFL.com power rankings have the Minnesota Vikings listed as the number 1 team in the NFL. That's right. They knocked off the Chiefs, which have been there pretty much the entire season so far. I know it's an early season, but for the most part, the Chiefs have been the number 1 team. So kudos to the Vikings. And I also have to apologize. I'm pretty sure I said in the preseason show, like the regular season predictions, I really thought the Vikings were going to be the last place in the NFC North. I mean, and they still could. However, they have earned my respect. 5-0, that's no small feat, okay? What is it? Only them and the Chiefs are undefeated, right? So even we can't say that because we lost to the stupid Buccaneers. But, that's the way it goes sometimes. What is it? Minnesota's not an easy place to play, man. Don't forget we had that crazy missed field goal. Not so much because the kicker, but there was like that crosswind inside the dome. What, do they open the doors or something like that on the away team's field goal attempts or something? I thought I heard that. Anyway, I believe it because the kick went from right to left like 15 yards. You don't put that much spin on the ball to make it twist like that. So we've definitely had some good battles. However, the Vikings do lead the series, all-time series, 80, 43, and 2. That is the Vikings win, loss, and tie record. We haven't had a tie since like 1967, though. The Lions have won the last 3, so that's pretty good. Yeah, and they've actually won the last 4 out of 5. Before that, they lost starting from October 10th, 2021. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They lost 8 in a row. The Lions didn't beat from October 10th, 21 to November 23rd, 2017. The Lions never won, So the Vikings, they've had our number as a franchise overall. They've always been a tough opponent for us, and I believe they actually have more success over us than the Packers do. I know for the longest time the Lions haven't had good teams, so these all-time records are going to be a little bit lopsided, when they first started, though, the Lions won the first 5 in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, first 5 in a row. First 6 out of 7 they won, and then they tied, and then they won, and then they lost, then they won. That was all the way up to 1966. So, yeah. I had a snarf there. I didn't want to do it into the microphone. Trying to get to the stats here. Let's talk about Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has played really well this season. However, he's only thrown for 1,100 yards. 1,111 yards to be exact. That is after 5 games. That's an average of 222 yards per game, the longest being 97 yards. That was to Justin Jefferson. As well as Sam Darnold is playing, this makes me think we don't have to fear the pass. That's not a ton of yards, and that is, for the most part, our weakness. If you had to pick a weakness, rushing defense or passing defense, our passing defense is probably the worst. However, he's thrown for 11 touchdowns. He only has 4 interceptions. He has been sacked 14 times, so he is sackable. He does have a quarterback rating of 103.4. Aaron Jones, he's carried the ball 71 times for 350 yards, his longest being 40 yards. These are kind of respectable numbers. And then their running back Chandler has 42 carries for 147 yards. Sam Darnold has 20 carries for 61 yards. Kind of respectable too. He's not necessarily a mobile quarterback, but he does have feet. He can make things happen with his legs. So we need to keep an eye on that. I don't expect him to hurt us, though. Justin Jefferson leads the team with receptions. He's got 26 total receptions for 450 yards. But, of course, one of those was for 97 yards, as I mentioned earlier. So if you want to take away that one play, he has 350 yards on the season, basically. Aaron Jones is the second leading receiver based off of yards for 167 yards. He has 17 total receptions. This is actually, looking at this, it's Justin Jefferson with 26 receptions, Aaron Jones with 17 receptions. Then the next closest receiver is Addison with 9, Naylor with 8, Munt, their tight end, until Hawkinson comes back. He's got 9. So it doesn't really seem like they spread the ball out. It seems like Jefferson is their one threat with Jones as their complementary piece, and then it sort of drops off, man. It drops off. I mean, Addison, 9 catches is tied with Munt, and they've played 5 games, so you're averaging 2 catches, less than 2 catches per game. So these guys aren't really threats, but that doesn't mean that they can't be. You take Jefferson away, Addison is more than capable than taking over. I don't want to say taking over, but he's definitely capable of stepping up and getting 5 or 6 catches in a game. But yeah, it really does. It really looks like Jefferson, if you can limit Jefferson's production, keep him well guarded, double team him, play some man defense with the safety cover, Brian Branch, you might be able to shut Jefferson down for the day, and that's going to be a big part of their passing offense. Even without Hutchinson, I do not expect the Lions to give up huge rushing yards. I just can't see it happening. Aleem McNeil, who just signed a contract extension, he's earned his money this year. Okay. I am not worried at all about the Lions rushing defense. I'm not worried about the Lions defense in general. Hutchinson was a big piece of that defensive front, but he was still just a piece. A lot of people are freaking out. The Lions are still, in my mind, a Super Bowl contender, and they still might be the best team in the NFC without Hutchinson. That's not a disrespect to Hutchinson. He's my boy. I love him. His bobblehead is in my car. He rides around with me. He's an amazing Pro Bowl caliber player. You know, maybe one day he'll have his own statue next to Barry Sanders, but our defense was not based around him. He was not the identity of our defense. Our defense is a team. We have depth. One person does not make or break our defense. Everybody's out here with this Maxx Crosby stuff, who I can't stand. He's a tremendous player, but man, I don't like his attitude. I'm sorry. He seems like a quitter to me. You know, just the way he's talking in Las Vegas. If you're unhappy, that's one thing, but keep it to yourself. Set an example, be a leader, have some class, deal with this stuff outside of having a microphone in your face. Okay? Just be an example. We don't need to know that you're unhappy. Just go talk to management and be like, hey, he requested a trade, you know? And if management wants to share that, that's fine too, or whatever. However management wants to handle it, that's one thing. But when I see you, Maxx Crosby, like, I'm not here to rebuild. It really pisses me off. It reminds me of Matthew Stafford, who I loved, but I hate quitters on teams. I hate quitters. Why don't you play better? Okay, make a difference on your team, and your team won't suck as much. Maybe you can inspire a few people on your team to play better as well. It is up to you as the face of the organization to set the tone in that locker room. Okay, to me, that's a cancerous attitude. That's a cancerous player. I think him and Davante Adams making it public that they don't want to be there, I think that hurts the team, and you don't hear that here in Detroit. You don't hear that. People love being here, and it's not just because we're winning. People loved being here when we went 3-14-1, you know, Dan Campbell's first year. Or people loved being here the second year when we were 1-7, you know, those first 8 games. People loved it because they could see the culture was changing, the environment was changing, the coaching staff had their shit together. They know what's up. And so when I see somebody like Maxx Crosby or Davante Adams in that whole receiver documentary with Davante Adams, I got to get out of here before I get killed. No, why not just play better? Just man up. Jesus, it's not that hard. You're being paid millions of dollars. Have a better attitude. Be a professional. Don't be a whiny little bitch. I'm sorry. This gets me fired up. I hate Maxx Crosby. Everything he is doing is just annoying the crap out of me. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. This, and I'm only talking about this because it has to do with the Lions by proxy, you know. Everybody's like, let's give up 3 first-round picks for Maxx Crosby. Are you out of your damn mind? I'm so happy 90% of you are not the Lions GM. Brad Holmes is doing a fantastic job. And if we, for some reason, end up getting Maxx Crosby, you know, then I trust Brad Holmes and his decision-making. But there's no reason in my mind that anybody should be hitting the panic button now. Okay? There's 2 reasons I would hit the panic button. Did Jared Goff get injured, and did Ben Johnson leave? Those are the only 2 reasons I would ever hit the panic button. Okay? Without Ben Johnson, I worry about Jared Goff. Without Jared Goff, I worry about, not that Hendon Hooker can't do a great job. You know, I'm sure he can get us there one day, should his number be called upon. But his inexperience would worry me. But even then, by the end of the season, I trust Ben Johnson to have Hendon Hooker going, you know. It's only a matter of time before we get to see that. But still, those are the only 2 pieces that I would worry about. If they were not part of our team, then I would hit the panic button. I worry every single offseason until Ben Johnson says that he's not going anywhere, that we will be a different team. That's it. That's all I have to say about that. I hope Hutchinson, you know, Dan Campbell, he was trying to be cryptic when he was talking about Aiden Hutchinson's injury. You know, like, if one guy could come back, it's going to be him, but it's going to be a long road. That just makes me think, like, that gives me hope. You know, Lions make the Super Bowl. Here comes number 97 out of the tunnel. What a time to come back. What a game to come back. That'd be freaking sweet. But that's like a 99% chance not happening, you know, and that's definitely counting your eggs before they hatch. So we'll have to worry about that at a different day. Let's get back to the freaking Vikings and Lions game. I was even going to do my best not to talk about Maxx Crosby because it just irritates the crap out of me. And a pregame show and a postgame show. I'm not Lions news necessarily. So that's I haven't dipped my toe into that water quite yet, but man, that just being all over X, I just see that stuff and it just drives me nuts. And I'm not saying the Lions shouldn't trade for somebody. I'm not saying that. It just should not be Maxx Crosby. I am saying that. I don't think you get what you want in the long run out of that. And I definitely don't think the Lions have some sort of limited window to get and win a Super Bowl. So, all right. Anyway, let's get back to this. You take Jefferson out of the passing game, I think you're in good shape. I think you're in really good shape. Now, something else we have to worry about is this Vikings defense. They have 11 interceptions on the season. They have, let me make sure I get this right too. They have 3 forced fumbles and 2 forced recoveries. So 13 turnovers on defense. They've played 5 games. Okay. They are close to averaging 3 turnovers a game. Jared Goff has 0 room for failure. Okay, he has to play a near perfect game. That's just it. This is one of those games. We have a tough schedule over the next 3 weeks. We play Vikings on the road, we play Green Bay on the road, and we play Houston. Okay, like the next 3 out of the 4. We come home and we play Tennessee, who you want to say is going to be a cakewalk, but we can't let our foot off the gas. We have a tough schedule right in the middle here. Okay, we have to stay healthy and we have to take care of the ball. We have tough opponents, and it's getting into that pre-crunch time where our record is really going to matter. If we can get this win against the Vikings, we're tied for first place, and things are looking good. But we have a tough division. We all have heard the story about how the Lions or the NFC North all has more than 4 wins after 5 games. We're the best point differential division in the NFL. We are basically the toughest division in the NFL right now. And the Lions have not played a division game yet. We are about to start playing our division rivals. It is not going to be an easy road. We have very little room for error. Okay? Very little. Now, with that being said, like I said, Sam Darnold, he's thrown 4 interceptions. That's almost won a game. Almost won a game. Let's look at. I'm trying to get this right. They've lost. They are kind of a fumble team. They're averaging more than 1 fumble a game, but only 3 of those have been lost. But the ball does come loose at least once during the game, but they've only lost 3 fumbles. So overall, their offense has turned the ball over 7 times. So that's more than once a game. We're going to need Brian Branch, Terrion Arnold, Davis III, right? Our secondary. We're going to need these guys to come up with those big plays. It's going to be tough. The Vikings have an amazing defense, a better defense than they do offense, and their offense is the potential to be potent. These aren't scrubs. Darnold is playing great. He's not making too many mistakes. The yards aren't as there as I thought they would be. He is completing 63% of his passes. That's pretty decent. I'm just going to the Lions stats now. So Goff has 1,300 yards, so he's throwing for more than 200 yards, 200 yards more than what Darnold has. Montgomery's rushed for 350 yards so far on the day. So he's pretty much there with Aaron Jones, but Gibbs is right there with 348. Okay, so we have twice the running power as they do. I do think this is going to be the key to victory here. I do think the Lions are going to have to run the ball down Vikings' throat. It's going to be a game of time of possession, and I think the Lions can win that time of possession game. I do think the Lions are going to win, just so we're clear. I think the Lions are a little bit more battle-tested. I think they've had a tougher road than the Vikings have had. I I feel like the Lions can really win this. We're just too powerful on offense for their defense, and I think our defense is good enough to beat their offense. Now, it's probably going to be close. I'll get to the score in a little bit. St. Brown, though, he's leading the team with 31 receptions. Jameson Williams is there with 16. Now, St. Brown's only got 289 yards, and Jameson Williams has 365. But see, we got Laporta there with 13 receptions, 200 yards, and Patrick with 8 receptions. I mean, you figure we got 5 guys with 10 or more receptions. The Vikings have 2. The Vikings have 2 guys with more than 10 receptions. Okay. And there's a huge drop off between their top 2 receivers and the rest of their squad, where the Lions just have depth. They spread the ball out. This is just too amazing. As long as Jared Goff takes care of the ball, we don't make any stupid, penalties. Like we have to keep playing clean football. I know I'm not saying anything ground shattering, but these are key points to playing against the Vikings. I don't think the Vikings have an offense that can necessarily kill us, but they do have a defense that is capable of shutting us down and creating some turnovers. So play a clean game, no penalties, no turnovers. It's so important, okay? The Lions, they know what they're doing. Look for the run. The run, I think the passing game, and I think they've figured this out since Jared Goff has been throwing for 150 quarterback rating or more the last 2 games. I think the Lions have figured this out. They're going to run the ball. They are a run-the-ball first team. They have 700 yards rushing between Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Okay, this is freaking amazing. And then the passing game is going to complement the running game. So, but our passing game is more than capable. If Jared Goff is on his game, it's more than capable than taking over the show. But we can't get into a shootout. I don't think that's going to happen. I did hear a stat where this is not a good stat in favor of the Lions. If a team 5-0 going into a bye week, which the Vikings did, they're coming off of a bye week. This has only happened 9 times where a team has been 5-0 and had an early bye week. They are 9-0 the week after. They're undefeated. So this would be the first time a team has been 5-0, gone into a bye week, and lost. Okay, they're rested. They have time to prepare. It's very possible TJ Hawkinson is going to be back after going out the last time he played us. I do have that injury report here. Okay, so there's only 2 guys that look to be out. They're defensive back, Caleb Evans and Blake Cashman, linebacker. They're the only ones that did not practice. Down the list, you got TJ Hawkinson, with that knee injury. He had limited participation. Today's Friday. I haven't heard if he's practiced yet today or not. But he would be the biggest name that I see. It'd be kind of cool. I don't have any ill will towards Hawkinson. I mean, I'm glad he hasn't won since he wanted to leave. Finally he can play meaningful games. Dickhead. Which he really hasn't. But, I don't wish him any ill will. Brian Branch was on our injury report, but he had a full practice yesterday. Frank Ragnow, he's just being rested. Dan Skipper had some ribs issues, but he had a full practice yesterday. Kevin Zeitler, he's got a groin issue. He had limited practice yesterday, so hopefully he will be okay. Okay, now we have a little bit of an issue with Carlton Davis. He's got a quad injury. He did not practice yesterday, so it is possible that Carlton Davis III will be out. Again, I have no idea if he's practicing today, but hopefully he'll just be listed as questionable and he will be good to go. We really are going to need Carlton Davis. He's going to be a big piece as far as shutting down Justin Jefferson. And man, I really think that's the key. If you can limit Justin Jefferson, you can stop the run, it's probably going to be Zach Pascal taking Hutch's spot. He's definitely going to be getting more reps. I know James Houston has been a healthy scratch a lot, and he hasn't quite been there since his amazing rookie season, but this is going to be his chance to step up and make an impact. So hopefully he's going to be fired up. Hopefully the defense overall is going to be fired up. Everybody knows that they're missing a big piece. This is going to give an opportunity for those other guys to step up and prove their worth. Okay. And I think Aaron Glenn, I think Dan Campbell, they're going to have this defense fired up. They're going to know what's on the table. They're going to know the importance of this game, the importance of the NFC North. Okay, this is a huge game. It's too bad it's going to be at 1:00 because this is prime time. You know, this is a prime time matchup at stupid 1:00 in the afternoon, 12:00 if you're in Minnesota. See, I do know how time zones work. I ain't so smart. I mean, I ain't so stupid. Let's see. What do I think the Lions are going to do? What do I think that score is going to be? What do you guys think the score is going to be? I think the Lions are going to win, like I said, but I don't necessarily think it's going to be a cakewalk. I predicted 27-20 last week against the Cowboys, and they freaking blew them out, man. I don't think anybody expected a blowout. We all wanted it, but I don't think we expected it. Not to that degree. I'm going to say the Lions win, but I'll go with a 23-20 score. Man, it's going to be close. You know, trying to predict the future here. Yeah, it's going to be close, but I see them scoring 23. I see the Vikings scoring 20. I'd love to hear what you guys think. But that's the score prediction for me. I don't think I have anything else to say. This is just, of course, the preview game. I will be back almost immediately after the game on Sunday for the post-game edition, hopefully talking about a Lions victory. Oh, man. All right. Yeah, that's it for me. I'm going to wrap it up. I got other stuff I got to do today, guys. Have a good Friday. I will talk to you all Sunday. Until then, forward down the field, guys. Was that good? All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Toodles. Bye-bye.